Hello everyone, and welcome to the second game that I'll be covering on this channel, which is Zombie World Order. This is another game from Bandai. Bandai also made Battle Spirits, which I covered last time. It is a 2017 game that received only a base set, and then nothing else. So this is a really strange game, it's a strange product. I guess the game is just strange in that it basically started off dead and received basically no support. And it's a strange product because, as you may have seen on the front there, and it says it here too, it comes with 20 pre-selected cards and 3 booster packs, a manual, and 10 additional cards from 68 types. So I'm guessing 68 total types of cards, and you get 10 of them. But that's not enough to play a game. So despite the fact that it comes with a decent selection of cards, some random, some predetermined, the card list is here, it's actually not a proper starter set, and it's not a starter deck either. And another weird thing is just what some of these weird disclaimers. I had to peel off the sticker on the bottom just to see that final row. Data usage fees for site access are the responsibility of the player. That is such a weird warning. I mean, that's kind of just. I figure most people would just know that. It's not the kind of thing you have to put on here. So I'm going to pause for a second so I can set up my camera in a stationary place. Alright, got my camera set up on my makeshift cardboard tripod. Ready to actually open this up. So I already messed with the packaging a little bit, cut off some tape. I'll set that off to the side. This is a playmat. I might show that later. I do not feel like unfolding it. These things are a pain if it's... Yeah, it's probably not going to stay flat. Plastic casing around. 3 booster packs. Do they all have... Oh, all different art. So we'll show the art on each of the covers. So you get 10 cards per pack. Let's see if there's anything interesting on the back here. Oh boy, focusing on small text. That hasn't been a problem before. Oh, alright, it actually worked on the first try this time. Bandai does not assume responsibility for the future value of cards. Well, I got this starter set for like $10, so... That's one pack. I'll just do all the art at once. It's probably just easier that way. And that way I don't forget. Another... I'm not even entirely sure what's supposed to be going on in this art. And the last one. Oh, and of course there's the predetermined cards. I guess I'll start with those. Oh, wow, these cards feel like absolute garbage. They're like kind of sticky and they are rough against each other. Anyway, here is the card back. I do kind of like the game's logo, fitting for a zombie-themed game. And as you're quickly going to see, the whole thing is all zombies, which 2017, that was kind of like the tail end of a zombie craze where there were a lot of zombies in media. I think that might be a part of the reason why this game did not last very long. Let's hope that focuses. So, I guess I'll start off by trying to explain a bit of this. The gameplay is very similar to Magic the Gathering. So, you're quickly going to see that there are three colors: green, red, and blue, I think is the last one. Cards are divided into zombies and event cards, with zombies acting as your creatures, and event cards acting as your instants or sorcery. Oh, those cards are sticking together. Events acting as your instants or sorceries. The difference is some cards have free timing, and free timing is like instant speed. That is showing up as like almost black on the camera, but that's a blue card. Though I guess looking at it in person, it's also just very dark. So in this game, there are no lands, as you may have guessed by the fact that there are only zombies and events. Instead, you get your mana or whatever by playing any card from your hand as what they call magic in this game. It's not called lands. So if you play a card as magic, it taps to produce one, like, mana, energy, resource, whatever, of the card's color. So this is a blue card. If I played it as magic, it would tap for one blue. When you are playing a card, you see the initial cost up in the top left, and you must use at least one mana of the card's color. What you see in the top right is actually a part of a revival mechanic. I guess I should explain what that is. So when you play a zombie, it starts off by default in this place called the Undead Zone. That's just the active battlefield. And from there, you can declare your attacks, activate effects. If a zombie takes an amount of damage equal to or exceeding its power found there, then I think that's called like injuring it or something, and you move it to the splattered zone. And from the splattered zone, it continues to operate as normal. You have to deal damage equal to its power again in order to then send it to basically the discard pile, where it's actually dead. And I'll just quickly bring up another zombie card so you can see that cost. The top right cost, if a zombie is in the splattered zone, you can pay that in order to move it back from the splattered zone into the undead zone. So your creatures in this game are pretty durable. You gotta get rid of them twice, and they kind of have built-in recovery. Sort of an interesting mechanic. Oh, and I'll show it on a card when I open up a first pack. But the number beneath a zombie's power is called critical, I believe. And if you get a direct attack in, that's how much damage you actually deal to the opposing player. So yeah, we'll just start off. This guy has like 4 power, 1 critical. It's interesting that power is simultaneously both your health and your damage when it comes to fighting other zombies. A lot of games have simplified kind of Magic the Gathering's power and toughness system by just having one like combat rating. So when you fight, the higher of the two numbers survives. But that doesn't allow for any like damage dealing effects or, well, events or whatever else you'd call them. This kind of simplifies it and reduces the amount of information that's on the card, which is probably useful in a game that already has a lot of information between like the revival cost and the critical. So it reduces the amount of information you need on the card while still allowing for that damage-based interaction. I guess that's what holos look like in this game. Again, just kind of gross. Like, I will admit that some of these cards look a bit cooler than I was expecting to. I thought that a zombie-themed card game would be way, way too limited, because zombies just tend to be like a single faction in a card game. But they do have like three different themes of zombies. There are technology themed zombies, and then like kind of a Japanese themed zombie. And I'm not too sure what red is going for. I think blue is supposed to be technology, and then green has like the Japanese theme. Oh, this is a multicolored card. So multicolored cards both tap for either of the colors that they are, and when you're paying for them, you need to pay using at least one of both of the colors that it has on it. I feel like other than a few of the unique mechanics I brought up, the game is very similar to Magic the Gathering. Oh, in combat, you when you declare an attack with one singular. Is that another holo? It is. I don't know if I'm getting lucky or if this is another case of like holo per pack. So when you declare an attack, you can either attack the opponent with one of your untapped zombies, or you can attack one of your opponent's tapped zombies. So you can target specific creatures they control. I think that's a nice compromise because in Magic the Gathering, it's just the opponent, or if they happen to have a planeswalker, and then there's like Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's just monsters until you get rid of all the monsters. I think this is, or has the potential for some decent strategic depth. I think that's, I guess, a colorless card. Those do exist. Doesn't look like it has anything. So I'm not too sure how many cards were in the base set. I feel like it was over 200, which seems pretty large. And another holo. So yeah, it's probably just a holo per set. I am not too fond of like the sexy zombie kind of thing. It weirds me out a little bit. And it's especially relevant right now because Resident Evil 8 has just come out. Everyone's talking about that vampire lady. I just don't get it. Anyway, much shorter than last time. Just a single video for this game. I am thinking about doing a discussion video about this game. I think it interests me that it didn't last very long. It has some unique rules to it, and you could almost do like a case study on card game design just by looking at one single contained set, and that's the whole game. Anyway, that would be a while off. I'm definitely going to get through opening the rest of the sealed products that I have. I think the next game that I use, or open rather, will be the Zatch Bell TCG, which is based on anime. This one's much older than both this game and Battle Spirits. I think it was like 2004 or something. And that one will probably be split into two videos at the very least. I have two starter decks or starter products. You'll see at the time that the game doesn't actually use decks in the traditional sense. And then another pack that just has like random cards in it. So anyway, hoping to get that up perhaps within the next week. And hopefully you'll stick around for it. And if you do, I'll see you then.